So here we are. We are here talking and living. The Baby Reds, or the Canadian Women's U20 team, kicked off their FIFA U20 tournament with a 3-3 draw versus France, a team that I think historically we match up well with France. Similar types of ballers, similar types of mentalities playing. I think the only difference is France has their youth setup, right? They have their leagues, they have their academies. We're about to establish just a league. And such. There's so many talking points about this game I'd love to get into, but I'll save a few of these for like a longer format. We'll just talk about the game. Nairo's getting the start. Let's hit this whole setup here, guys. Again, if you like this type of context, like this type of content, is what I get for doing post games in the morning. Just hit up the old subscribe button, give us the old like, let us know what you thought about the game. We'll try to do this after every Canadian game, and we'll cover some of the African stuff as well here going on. But let's get into it. So Sydney's ties starting 11, we had a nice setup coming through. You had Faith Fenwick in goal with Ella Otti, Zoe Marcassini, Janet Okiki, and then Maya Archibald in the back four. Anaya Johnson, Geneva Hernandez Gray, Florian Jourde in the midfield. Is it Jourde or Jourde? Everyone keeps on saying it both ways. I don't know. Let me know. And then up top you had Olivia Smith, Nia Rose, and Amanda Allen playing through. That was just starting in 11. I think it's a good start. Some people were surprised maybe they went Nairos over a Annabelle Chukwu. I think in this type of a tournament, they have depth. And that's something that we always are talking about for Canada. It's like, it's at the top of this. This team is deep. Now, my number one question for the squad will be, will they use the depth well enough throughout this tournament? Because if they do, they stand a chance to make it through. I have them making the quarterfinals in case someone was wondering. But this team does have a lot of depth, and I'm very much excited to see how Thie uses it throughout the next two games, especially with a big game coming against Brazil. But against France, we start scoring in the third minute. So Nairo's getting the scoring starting in the fourth minute. Off a good transitional play, gets the ball near the top of the 18 and lets a banger go. Goes right side. Goalie had no chance from where she dove. It's 1-0 Canada. But then France returns the favor in the 8th minute off of just a misplay from Faith Fenwick. Ball was too heavy off the touch. It gets scrambled away. And this was something where I think the Canadians struggled with. I call them those awkward balls, right? The balls which are not deep enough to be claimed, but too shallow. Not deep enough for the keeper to be claimed, but deep enough for the defenders to be a little bit hesitant. That was the second goal that came in. Or Scanapico was able to get that through. So it's 1-1, 10 minutes through. I'm sitting there struggling to find a stream. I could have just turned on my television. That's a whole nother conversation. But then we have Zoe Marcassini off of a set piece goal coming through, which was great to see that come. It's 2-1. I'm thinking to myself, they're up for this matchup, right? Then those awkward balls, goal number 2, that happens for Canada, and it's 2-2. And then Hilary Diaz gets the goal in the 67th minute. Annabelle Chukwu comes back and scores in the 84th minute coming off the bench. You have it at 3-3. And honestly, there were nerving moments on each side. Definitely felt like there was another goal coming in this game, but 3-3 Canada. And I think the attacking talent moving forward, I think that's their strength. There is a tendency with this system and tie is always, and a lot of coaches are the same way, where it's just reset, get everything going, and then reset, settle down, and then move the ball forward that way so everyone's where they need to be. I think there are parts of this game where you look at how France was playing and you said, actually, you could have used some chaos here. And then there are other times where they went for chaos. It was like, no, there's just one player. We don't have the numbers for this chaos. But if you told me walking into this game they would draw France and maybe they should have won, I would have been ecstatic with this. According to Google, you have the stats that are 11 shots to 12 for Canada, 6 on target for France versus 4 for Canada. Possession, according to Google, was 52-48. That does feel about right. More passes for Canada, 330 words, 363 versus 349. Passing accuracy was 79 to 16. Guys, I can't speak. I'm sorry. Passing accuracy was 71% versus 69%. Fouls were about the same. 1 yellow card, 3 offsides, and then 8 set pieces for Canada, 8 corners specifically, versus 3 for France. And I think that's something, if you're looking at Canada, they created that many opportunities. And that's where I think, looking back at this game, they did leave 2 points on the field. I mean, yes, we can talk about the officiating, which was consistently inconsistent. If it's not a foul in the second minute, I don't want it to be a foul in the 5th minute. But it just felt as if we were getting, Canadians were getting taken down. But that's just the reality of the game. It might balance itself out as the tournament goes on, but we will see how it goes. But it was 8 corners. I think that's something that they have to take advantage of, because they're not going to have 8 corners against another side. Right? Maybe they'll get 16 against Fiji. I mean, Fiji looks like they are there to get healthy against, and with all due respect to those girls. But I think if Canada fixes those awkward balls, right? Playing from the back, having players be able just to turn and go, if you can get more there, I think they're fine. Honestly. And then playing through the middle and seeing that, I would be interesting to see in that 4-3-3 setup next game, if they go with the same 11, which personally I wouldn't go with. I think I have to have an eye for the round of 16, and I think if that's the case, you have to look and say, okay, I'm not saying you give up the Brazil game, but I'm saying I think they have enough talent that they can keep a Brazil game close, and if they rotate, then maybe they bring in their starting 11 from this game, and then from there, maybe you keep the back line the same. Maybe you switch out some of the starting lineup, like give McBride a run, start with Chuku up top, give Renee Watson some run, maybe a Jamie Perreault, give her some run there, and mix and match with the midfield as well. I think the back line, keep them together. And then if it's a close game, then you have an Amanda Allen, you have a Nia Rose, you have players like that who can come in and create. That's how I would run it. But again, I'm just a dude on YouTube. But I think a good encouraging sign. The last U20s, they lost to France 3-1, and it wasn't really a close game. It felt as if France was just playing. And I think there's much to be said about taking a squad that is, and the players who were at the last U20s, I think they played well. But I mean, the one thing I thought in that last cycle, I was like, oh man, Nikayla Smalls, if she was healthy, I think their midfield looks different. And you see a healthy squad here. It's very exciting to see kind of what the next evolution of this is. They're playing Brazil, this thie that just is a buzzsaw. They just ran through Fiji. But it's very encouraging to see, I think, for the Canadians, the Baby Red. So I'm pretty pumped to see what they can do. There's a lot of talking points. Again, I don't want to go into all of them, but yeah, I'm excited to see what this group can do. We'll have a longer podcast and talk about that a little bit later, but very good. On the flip side, Cameroon drawing Mexico. I did not see that result coming. I honestly just felt as if Mexico would run away with this game, but all of a sudden they truly pushed Mexico and made them uncomfortable. They grew into the game and made Mexico feel like a side that was just there. And that was very interesting to me. So I'm very much excited to see this Cameroon side now. They have pushed. They got a point, and now they have an opportunity to really upset how I thought this tournament would go. Shout out to Eto'o, who got the 2 goals for Cameroon, pushing that through. So I'm very much intrigued to see what they can do now in this tournament. So now as it stands, Colombia, and they won their game against Australia. So Colombia and Brazil, the South Americans in Group A and Group B, are leading with 3 points. And then you have Mexico and Cameroon with 1 each. And then you have Canada and France with 1 each. that next matchup is going to be key. I think if Canada can get something out, a draw versus Brazil, yes, they just beat Fiji 9-0. I don't think that's improbable. I think Canada has shown that they can put up goals. And the question is going to be now, can they clean up the defense? But overall, a great first start, encouraging. The girls are here to play, and I'm looking forward to see what they're able to do. Anyways, I'm going to stop talking now.